everyone, we're here again for another puppy update. I'm trying to think of what's happened. Again, not a lot has happened because Callie's starting to experience pretty much everything, hopefully. So there's not a lot to talk about this week, but I've come up with a little something different. I'm going to tell you a story after I briefly run you through what happened this week. So I started back at work after crafts. So she liked getting back into the routine. She loves a good routine, is what I've noticed. So she was very happy to go back into her usual daily routine. And she settled quite well into that. What else did we do? We went on Saturday to our PIP class, our putting it into practice, which we recommend for everyone to join after they do one of our courses. It's about putting all of the stuff we do in class out and about and teaching them how to use all of the tools we've given them in different circumstances in a normal situation. So that's out on a walk, in a town or a beach or a forest. So anything, anywhere could happen. So we take our clients out to do it and practice it, which is great, and everyone really does find it helpful. So we were on that in Newtonards. And to be honest, I'm not sure whether she was having a terrible Tuesday. It wasn't a Tuesday, it was a Saturday. A terrible Tuesday. You know what I mean. I think she was being a teenager. And partially we didn't get the day started off very well, unfortunately. Whenever we were walking to the square to meet everyone, she got her tail stood on when we were crossing the road. We were waiting at the pedestrians. She was sitting like a good girl waiting. And someone came up behind us and full on trod on her tail. So much so that she squealed. And Callie's not a squealer. She squealed, so that's not good. Tail was fine. Tail's not broken. It was a little bit swollen. Whenever I got home, I just noticed a little bit of swelling, but it wasn't, it was just a little bit. It wasn't anything necessary. Then she got... There was 3 things that happened, and I can't remember the third. She got... a car backfired, which made her jump. So that took her attention away quite a bit, because then she was quite wary of everything else that was going on, so she was paying more attention to everything else around me after that happened than me, despite me having her favourite treat, which was sausage. So, well, it was a different brand of sausage. So maybe that didn't help. Small changes. You never know. So a car backfired, which made her jump. She got her tail stood on. And then we got molested by a white shepherdy thing. I had to get quite angry with him, unfortunately, to ask him to pull away his dog. Because his dog was having a nice time meeting my dog. Honestly, you get scundered with people assuming that it's fine for their dog to walk up to yours. Callie was not having a good time. She was stressed. I says, at the start, I say, sorry, my dog's a bit stressed at the moment. So I put her in between my legs. We were in a corner. I put her in between my legs. The shepherd thing was in front of me. She was in between my legs. I put my hands sort of across her chest and I was bent over. I'm just keeping her where she was because she was stressed. She was panicking. She was sort of moving about a bit. So I sort of keep my arms across her chest just to try and comfort her a little bit and calm her down. This man was just letting his dog right up into my face and her face. Now the white shepherd, it wasn't aggressive or anything like that. It was just over friendly. It was just, let's play, which wasn't helpful for Callie at that time. That was stress, even more stress on her. So I say, sorry, my dog's stressed right now. Please pull away your dog. Oh no, my dog. Oh no, it's okay. He's friendly. The classic. Don't worry, mine's friendly. So I says, no, my dog is stressed. Please pull away your dog. And he says, don't worry about it. He's fine. He just wants to play. I then have to raise my voice. I don't like raising my voice, but if I have to protect my dog, I will. So I did in a slightly more voice. It was, my dog isn't happy. Please pull away your dog. And eventually he did, and he sort of rolled his eyes, and he muttered something under his breath. I don't know what he did, but I don't care. He left. But honestly, the ignorance of people. Just, oh no, mine friendly. Does mine look like it wants to meet yours? She is shaking between my legs. She does not want to meet your dog. Please, go away. So that didn't start off the day quite how I exactly wanted it. So then we got to the actual day, to the actual square eventually, and she was pulling on lead quite a bit, which is really unlike her. She is usually quite good on lead. Pulling on lead quite a bit, darting about, which is not like her at all. She's usually a steady dog, but she just wasn't having a good day, dear lover. And then I realised that the market was on in the square. So that was a lot of distractions between the banging sounds of all the trolleys being packed away, all of the hustle and bustle, the prams, the children, the people, the rustly bags, the pigeons. It was a bit stupid of me not to actually think about the pigeons. She is a bird dog. Hungarian Vizslas are bird dogs. They like birds. Yeah. The pigeons were quite interesting for her. So for a bit of the day, I just sat there sort of pointing to pigeons, says, look at the bird and a treat. Look at the bird and a treat. Look at the bird. I look mad just pointing at all these birds. But just, it was teaching her that a bird was fine. She didn't have to go, bird, every time one walked across. Because it's Newtownards Square. There is going to be pigeons. There are always pigeons. So there was, look at the bird treat. Look at the bird treat. I made the mistake at the very start of being a little bit too exciting. I was, look at the bird. That amped her up, which, my mistake, I made a mistake. Trainers make mistakes too, see? So with the aid of Gareth, thankfully, he pointed out that I was being a bit too happy. So it was, look at the bird treat. Look at the bird treat. Look at the bird treat. And eventually you could see her coming down. I mean, I was walking around the square, sort of doing a little bit of footwork. And there was a bird walking past. She sort of looked at it and was like, oh, it's a bird. So a little bit of desensitization works. Did some waits and stays. Did some walking around Newtownards. But the square was just far too busy for that day. It was, for her, she struggled with it. You know, and she was having a bad day. She didn't have a good start. She wasn't having a good day in general. She was just in a mood. Some dogs just get in the moods. So, yeah, that was about it. And then after everyone had left, I stayed in Newtownards for another 20 minutes or so and just walked around all of Ards. I walked around the centre of Ards, so I went down Francis Street, down past Old Cross. Then down to the War Memorial Garden thing. Near the Priory, the Priory, around there. And then, sorry, if you hear slopping and chewing, she's eating a chew right now. She needed her teeth cleaned, so I gave her a wee chew thing. So that's her slopping, if you can hear that. Sorry about that. So, walked around there, and by the end of that session, she was walking really nice, because I was determined that we were going to end on a good note, because I don't like saying, oh, fine, you're not feeling up to it, fine. Sometimes, depending on the situation, I will. But I knew she could probably work. She wasn't having a good start, but if I took her away from all the stuff that she wasn't happy with, she would probably start to come back a bit. And she did, which was good. So that was about it. So we did end on a good note, thankfully. Just took a while. So now on to my story. It's a bit of a random story, but I'm sure you'll all appreciate it. It's about my favourite lamp. I'm going to show you my lamp. This is my lamp. This is my favourite lamp. Got it from Argos about 2 years ago. It's a nice duck egg blue. One of my favourite colours. It's a great lamp. It's got a good bright bulb in it. And it bends all these ways and stuff like that. You know, you can bend it whatever way. So if you're reading a book or something like that, or organising something awkward in your drawers, you can bend it whatever way you want. It's great. It's got a nice sturdy base on it. You know, I put stickers on it because they're cute. Nice sturdy base. It's not going to tip over whenever it's on its table or something like that. It's got a nice long cable, which is good. It's got this little clicky here, which is really easy to use. And what I always do is I sort of fold it up there, so then the wee clicky is close to the base. You don't have to hook for it. I do that. So it's really, really handy. And then you've got the really great plug, which plugs in nice and easy. So you've got your clicky bit here, you know, and then you've got your plug. So that's right. There was an accident involving a dog and my favourite lamp. Now, thank goodness it was off at the plug. Cali was not fried. I tend not to leave things on at the plug, which was thank goodness for this day. I had my favourite lamp sitting on her crate because its very good bulb had blown. So I had set it out of the way so I could replace the bulb at that time. We went to run some errands on Monday, and I had to change my phone contract, which took a little bit longer than I expected. It was sitting on top of her crate with its lead behind a white election board. The white election board is there to protect the wall from whatever sneezes and disgusting stuff. Just to protect the white wall. So there's a old election board thing there. And she, I presume, had got bored and found nothing better to do than to make it her quest to pull my favourite lamp's lead into her crate and chew it dead in half. As you can see, those are copper wires. So, there ends my story of my favourite lamp. Now, thankfully, my granda should be able to fix it, because my granda was an electrician, so he might be able to replace the cable, and my favourite lamp may really relive. But you can tell, you know, she had a gnaw at that. So, I know she didn't eat any of it, because I found, as you can tell, there's quite a bit of casing missing there. I found that bit of casing. So that's there, and I sort of managed to put it back together. So it all fits. There's nothing inside her. I did keep an eye on her for the first 24 hours after that. She wasn't sick or anything like that, because as soon as we let her out of her crate, she did a poop. That was a good poop. You check the poop after you find something like that. You check it for blood, you check it for runny, you check for bits, bits of plastic or whatever in it. Poop was fine. Good, solid, good poop. Then the poop after that was a good, solid poop. And then the poop after that was a good, solid poop. So there's nothing wrong with her. No blood, no runny, nothing. And she herself was herself. Happy to go on a walk, happy to go for a play, happy to go out for a chase with a ball. She was a happy dog. So, in general, my mistake for putting something electrical. At the same time, this is the first time she's ever done something like that. So she must have got seriously bored in that crate. And I gave her a Kong as well, so she just must have really, really not taken to the Kong, or just got bored of the Kong or something like that. It was a once-off, but don't leave electrics around dogs. And certainly don't plug them in. Thankfully this wasn't live. If that had live, I would have been probably coming home to a very ill or dead dog. One of those things. But thankfully it wasn't plugged in, because there was no point in plugging it in, because the bulb was blown. So, handy enough, thankfully. So, learn from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do, is the general rule for trainers. Well, that is all of this week updated, really. So, as my dog is slopping in the background, Yeah, you're still chewing that. My dog is slopping in the background, not on one of those sausage chews, on a Whimsy's chew, which she likes, and doesn't upset her stomach. So as she's busy chewing on that, I'm going to say my farewells and see you next week. Stay safe, everyone, and yeah, don't put cables around dogs. Bye.